JB Cycles here with an update on March the 26th. So here I have my usual 4-week cycle chart, and as you see here I have updated my cycle. This is the average 4-week cycle going back from October, and it has certainly changed. Now we can't see any clear cycle here. As you know, going back here we had a clear cycle of about 4 weeks, and going further back it was also a clear cycle. So this is the solar wind cycle, and from my experience the market normally has a market cycle that correlates with this solar wind cycle, and it can stay stable over many years, like up to 2022. But it changed around April here with the orange new cycle, and then it changed again in October into this black cycle, and up to last week it was a clear 4-week cycle. But with this updated data we don't see a clear 4-week cycle, and that could mean two things: either there isn't a clear 4-week cycle at the moment, or the cycle has changed somewhere in between, and if you do an average of two different cycles you can't see any clear cycle. So it's a bit unclear what's going on here. You can see these 3 sub-cycles here within, and we are at this, coming up at this pop up here in this 4-week. So we have to see about that. We could pop up early next week from this. And clearly my scenario in red here, it didn't play out. We didn't flush down lower, but you know, we could still do that. But with this 4-week cycle not working at the moment, or it may have changed, you know, I'm not giving it that much weight here. So let's have a look at some other cycles. We have not been correlating well with this cycle composite of these 3 cycles of 10 weeks, 16, 17 weeks, and the quarterly cycle. Not a clear correlation here, and the composite of this cycle is going down into early May. And if we look for comparison at the Norwegian markets, here actually we do have a nice correlation with the composite of these 3 cycles. So as you see, if I use this one, we had a low September, October, and the composite had a high, as you see here, in December, and then the composite was weak into late January, and the Norwegian market was weak, going sideways. And then we had a high here in mid-March, and the Norwegian market did make a high there. And now, you know, the composite, it's generally pointing down into early May, and the Norwegian market has broken down and made a lower low than December. And here a couple of weeks ago I draw this general scenario here, which I think we're in. So neither for the S&P, neither the 4-week cycle is working well, or not the composite of these 3 cycles. So I don't like when that happens. Let's have a look at, you know, I have another composite chart here. This is in red here, the composite of 6 different cycles, and it showed generally A, B, C, call it a bear flag, and then a downtrend into June. I still think that's what is going on here, just not in the perfect sync with the composite. Down here I have the Nasdaq. So, you know, there's still room for a little bit upside here. And if we look only at the longer term cycles, you know, it goes sideways into a bit into April. Perhaps you know, we have Easter coming up, so it looks like after the Easter holidays, you know, it goes straight down. What's up next? Let's have a look here. The S&P with my 7-year cycle, and let's focus on this one, the important 40-week offset. The bullish, if this was a bull market, when we came up to this offset, we should have popped up, a breakthrough and rallied. We didn't. We have been clinging on to this offset, and right now we are a bit above it. If this, we have made an A, B, C pullback here recent weeks, and we have back tested on this broken trend line, and we have support from this other trend line. All this is in a logarithmic scale. If this is bullish, we have some kind of a breakout from the offset. We should just surge to the upside here. But I think we should not trust this call it breakout from the offset. We could just go a bit sideways and then rather break down, and that is kind of my scenario here. I think we are in call it a tricky situation where bulls, they have seen this bullish breakout and back testing, and they are waiting. Where's the rally? While bears, they have seen the lower high and broken this support line. So where's the breakdown? If you look at the analog from 2001, we had a similar situation. Here we oscillated around this trend line before we capitulated, and I'm looking for something similar, going a bit more sideways here and then capitulate. If I look at my wavelets here for trading days, I'm seeing some bullish wavelets here. But so far you can't call this bullish rally. It looks more like a bounce, possibly in a downtrend. We haven't made a higher swing high here. And I'm looking for, these wavelets suggest there could be a little bit more time before the downside resumes. So, some kind of a tricky, call it a bear flag here, A, B, C. So perhaps sideways into after the Easter holidays, and then we turn down. Let's see, what else do I have? Yeah, the geomagnetic storm. We had another strong geomagnetic storm the last week on March the 23rd, and a bit unusual to have two such storms in a short period. It has happened before, and as I have said, these geomagnetic storms often happen near a major top, but not always. It doesn't always work. Sometimes it has no effect. So, but if this geomagnetic storm has a bearish effect, I have an average here in gray, and going back to the geomagnetic storm end of February in blue, we see the normal reaction is first some kind of a squeeze to the upside, and we did get that here in blue, and then a downswing. Then we have a high, could be a double top, a higher top, or a lower top, just around here where we made a lower high last week. And as you see, the scenario goes straight down the coming week. So that's what I'm looking for from this scenario. It looks like we are in some bearish action. The bank panic started just a week after the storm. But the tricky situation is we got another strong storm last week, and I've drawn that in here in orange. So if the scenario is reset and starts from the beginning again, it could point to a week with a squeeze and upside. So is it the one or the other? And I don't have enough data to come up with a conclusion there. So, but I still think that the first initial solar storm is what we should look at, and the scenario there is going straight down the coming week. So it's overall a very tricky situation, I think, and the cycles are not working as well as I would like them to. So I think some kind of a sideways move, maybe.